Waiting for broadcast on Wimkin, going live now. Take a look.
Check.
That sounds good to me. Popping out.
Yep, we're good.
Waiting for broadcast on. All right, we're out of Wimkin. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to the Don't Unfriend Me show. Great to have you here. Liv, would you pop the like, share, and subscribe for me, please? Go ahead and leave that up until we go into Advo. I would appreciate it. Thanks, everybody. Welcome. Please like, share, and subscribe. Get this one out. You're going to want to listen to this show. I have got some cool information on what took place in Israel, Hezbollah, Lebanon, and other places all over the Middle East. Do you hear echo?
Just from the music.
Liv, your volume's up. Hold on.
I don't have volume.
Hold on, I can hear something. Test. I had some echo. Maybe it was just remnants of the live stream over on Wimkin.
Usually that's what it is.
Okay. Either way, Liv, bring that mic right to your mouth because you're way away from it. I can't hear you. Say it one more time. Sound check.
Test.
Oh, that's much better. All right, everybody. We're going to be going live here in a minute. We've got a lot to talk about today. Head over to thedumshow.com. Use code DUM15, DUM15 to 15% off to save. And we will see you in just a few.
Howdy, y'all. This is Damani Felder. These are perilous times in American history, and now more than ever, we need individuals who are willing to wage war on the ideological battlefield with like-minded individuals. And I can think of no better place to start than my friends at the Don't Unfriend Me show. So thank you for being here, and enjoy the show.
What's going on, everybody? Matthew Spear from the Don't Unfriend Me show. I am proud to announce that the Documents of Freedom are back in stock. It's a 3-book collection, leather-bound, by Arcadia Publishing. Starts out with the Bill of Rights, and it's the complete edition of the rights, so you can look up and reference anything your heart desires. Declaration of Independence, with revisions and founder images included, beautifully illustrated. And last but not least, what would Documents of Freedom be without the Constitution of the United States of America in its entirety? The box is handmade by PFC Flags, custom engraving, all 100% made in the USA from the nails to the glue. And we have a 5-star rating, satisfaction guaranteed, 150 sold 5 stars or better. It is so important, especially in today's society, to ensure that the younger generation has these books available in the future. Get them for your family and friends, available right now. Head on over to thedumshow.com/books. Thanks so much. What's going on, everybody? Matthew Spear from the Don't Unfriend Me show.
Adjusting transmitter output.
This is the Don't Unfriend Me show with your hosts, Matt, Leroy, Amy, and Olivia. Geopolitics, military analysis, and election coverage. Coming to you live on all major social media channels at The DUM Show. Honest, direct, unfiltered. We can agree, we can disagree. Just don't unfriend me.
I worked out, so I got a fan in certain areas.
We got our first fan mail.
Fan mail.
Our fan mail.
You got a pink one. Why do I have a brown one? What are you trying to say?
I don't know.
I know. This has a reference to the downstairs area. I get it.
No.
Hung like a black man. I get it. It's okay.
It's just the next color that was in the package.
So are you gonna?
Ethan already took the blue one.
I don't see color. Can you walk us through why is this important?
Well, Amy and I have been asking for fan mail, and last night Miss Debbie messaged me and asked me if I checked our box because we have some fan mail coming our way. So I checked it on the way home, thinking we were going to get a letter. No, we got
a package.
It was a package.
It's huge.
Of fans. So we got our first fan mail, and I have to say, Debbie, this was classic and awesome. Best first fan mail ever.
Total dad joke, but totally
awesome.
Totally good. Totally good. Like, these things are amazing. Like, I always run hot because I always work out before the show, which is awesome because Olivia has to deal with me smelling like a foot over here.
Starting early.
But I don't. What, the cat?
Cat.
Damn it, Yenny. She does it. She's an attention whore. She's combative. We need to get her on the page.
She is. She wants the attention. She loves the attention.
She's a horrible human being. She's always she's always trying to steal.
She shows her butt.
So yes, she does. Folks, we had a great night last night. Almost broke the 2,000 mark. But I have a feeling we'll hit that tonight. So listen, we are 100% funded by you. I don't know if you guys had a chance to see on Facebook, but I actually showed you a demonstration of them throttling us, and it's insane. You can literally see the likes and the shares and the views going up and down as they are scrambling it, not counting it to throttle it. And understand, when things meet certain thresholds and tiers, like a photograph or a video, it'll get pushed up. So it hits like tier 1. And it'll just go to your general pop. If it hits tier 2, it'll go outside your network and their friends. If it hits tier 3, it'll go out to extended friends and liked, followed pages and shown to that audience. And the more interactions it has, the more it's seen. And then after a couple of hours, it's just a dead post, and you can't get that traction. So what are they doing? They're literally throttling our stuff so it won't go in. And if you think that's crazy, and you're like, Matt, that's not true. There's no way. I don't believe it. It's impossible. Why would Facebook do such a horrible thing to you? That's really interesting. So let me show you why. So today I got information. I don't know if I screenshotted it. Took a screenshot. No, I didn't. So I'll just have to tell you. So from now on, our long form video, you know those videos that I do that 10 to 15 minutes? They absolutely said they'll all be throttled. And unless I do reels for 90 seconds, I won't get the same level of exposure on my videos. And guess what? I don't get paid for reels. In fact, I have been demonetized on reels for 2 years. So now they're taking that income. So that's why we're not getting any income for the lives. We're getting no income. You're not seeing ads on the recordeds anymore. This is what Facebook's doing to us. I showed you last week that we were on average about $8,500 a month from Facebook. And now last month we got $1.21. $1.21 from Facebook with 200,000 followers. Is that you?
Yeah, I know.
Oh, it's going to broadcast audio from now on. So you just have to hit away.
Yeah, I forgot to do not disturb.
Mark yourself DND. So anyway, that's That's what's happening, folks. They are all long form video is getting throttled. So they're trying to change. They're trying to turn into a TikTok. And so we will be moving from Facebook shortly. I've made the decision that we are going to stop broadcasting on Facebook specifically, and we will broadcast on Wimkin, Rubble, YouTube, Instagram, no, Twitter, and we're gonna stop on Facebook. I'm just done. So if you have not come over to Wimkin, you might want to, because in the next month or two, we're probably after the election, we're going to switch. And we're just going to dump Facebook and start over and just leave Facebook completely, minus, posts, and I'll post videos and stuff, but it's no longer going to be my number one channel. We just can't afford to do it. They are just milking us dry. We're providing tons of content. People are interacting, and we're not getting compensated for it. So in my opinion, we're done. So we need your help. That's what we're talking about. linktapgo.com/thedumb show. We are 100% funded by y'all. About 5 months ago, we asked. So if you watch the show, you like what you hear and you think it's great, awesome. Maybe you can tip. And if you don't and think we need a lot of help and maybe some more training, tips also help with that. And we can go back to school. So do me a favor and do that. Wimkin.com. You see it right down there. It's a social media site. It has 9 million followers. They are a sponsor of our show, and they have social media, 100% free speech. We own stock in the company. We're big fans of the company. And like Bongino left and went to Rumble, and other people have, we are doing the same. I just think it's going to be after the election, because there's too many people counting on this show to get information. But we're going to be leaving Facebook, and honestly, I'm going to be working on a class action lawsuit. It's time. It's time someone sues Facebook for this. I've got hundreds of hours of information that I can present to an oversight committee or to any local state review board and show them what they've done to our channel. And the crazy thing is we don't spread lies on here. We don't attack people. We don't spread mistruth, and they're throttling us. So we're done. Anyway, so if you haven't had a chance, stop by Wimkin and come see us. You can stop by YouTube and Twitter and everything else. Liv, how are you? What's going on?
Oh, I'm wonderful. Another 10-hour day in the books with no lunch again. But that's what.
I'm sorry.
That's what my job is right now, because people keep quitting.
It's not fair. Bobby Richardson says, do they tax the donations? Yes, I'm taxed on donations, but that's the IRS. That's not Facebook. Donations you can do through PayPal. And the great thing is through PayPal, it's a business account. So we can use our business expenses and tax deductions to go ahead and make it a little less taking it in the shorts. So anything you can do to help, we appreciate it. And remember, it goes to the show. It doesn't go to any third party. It doesn't go to Wimkin or anyone else. It comes to us. It goes into our bank account. So we would appreciate the help. You can also go to thedumbshow.com, pick up coffee, hats, sweatshirts, amazing stuff. We have a 5-star rating. It's one of the best. And I'm sorry, I always have to start with this, but I don't have a choice. I got to pay the bills. All right. So anyway, I want to tell you a little story. And I've got some video, Liv, that I don't think I can play.
Okay. Then you probably shouldn't play it.
Yeah. I think we got enough on. Oh yeah, we do. So here's what I want to let me set something up, okay?
Okay.
I've got to make a box, and I want to change the opacity to like that, and we'll change the color to a white, and we'll make it kind of frosted. All right, that doesn't look too bad. And then blend mode, we'll leave it like that. And I think that looks pretty good. Okay, so I've got that. Now, if I bring in an image, so I'm just trying to do this on the fly. You'll understand what I'm doing here in a second. If I bring in an image and I bring this to the front, and then I take this and I go ahead and do that. That looks good. Okay. I think I'm going to make it a little darker, and then everyone will understand what I'm doing here in a brief second. I'm going to make it a square, bring that in like this, and then we're going to turn that into, extend that side. Come on now. All right. And we're going to do a rectangle. Oh, you got some work to do.
Yeah.
Okay, and then now bring this here. And here. And here. Okay. All right. So now if I go ahead and I open up this window and I go and type in, I'm going to tell you guys a story. And just bear with me. Okay, fine. Hey, thanks so much, Glenn. We appreciate it, buddy. Okay, so now if I go ahead and bring in this window. There we go. Fantastic. And I go ahead and I mute it and send it to the back. And then I close this down a little bit. Thank you so much, person. All these weird names. Okay. Beebs. Thank you so much for your donation.
Beebs.
Whatever. I'm not doing that crap. All right. So there's that. Okay. So I can do that, and that's as good as it's going to get for you. And hopefully I'll play some other ones as well, but the coding software won't be able to pick this up. So this is the flag software from Facebook and Twitter. So hopefully that you guys can see enough of it to understand, but it's muted enough where they won't pick it up. So here, I can even do this to make it really simple. Sorry. To make this a little bigger. Come on. There we go. And we'll do that. And then we'll do that. And we'll make it bigger. And make this bigger. And now you can really see it. Okay. Now I got to get this covered. Okay. So now you've got a video and I've got some story time for you. Thank you for signing up, Whitney. If you have not had a chance, all you got to do is Jason will approve those in the next 24 hours. You won't get an email because they throttle them. Big tech hates Jason and Wimkin. So what you got to do is just put in your username that you signed up with and your password, and your account will be approved. I'll tell Jason we had a bunch of signups tonight. Okay. So here's the deal. Here's a little story. And Liv, bear with me here because I want to go over this. First of all, everything I am about to tell you is 100% a theoretical situation. It is certainly not confirmed and certainly not real life events because that would be not something I should do. So I'm just going to tell you a story, and I'm going to pick two countries. Liv, help me pick two countries. Let's say, give me the first one. Just pick one randomly.
Chile.
Liv, pick a country.
Israel.
Oh my God! Wow, totally random. Amazing. Wow. Okay, Israel sounds good. What's the second country we'll pick? Just totally random.
Lebanon.
Okay, Lebanon and Israel sounds good to me. I mean, since it's totally random. We're going to pick Lebanon and Israel, and we're going to go ahead and tell you a little story. Just sit back and get some popcorn. I want you to imagine a country that is attacked by, I don't know, pick somebody. Who would it be, Liv?
Hamas?
Well, that's not a country. That's a terrorist group.
Oh, okay.
But essentially, pick a random country who runs proxy of terrorist groups. Just
Iran?
Iran? Yes, Iran.
Okay.
Iran so far away. Okay, so Iran. Okay, we'll just pick Iran. Just randomly. Out of all the countries in the world, we'll just pick Iran. So we have Iran, we have Israel, and we have Lebanon. Now, just randomly pick some terrorist groups. Just give me one. Hezbollah. Okay, fine. If you have to have Hezbollah, we'll just randomly pick Hezbollah. Give me another one.
Hamas.
Okay, good. So far, we're doing really well. Now, I want you to imagine that, let's just say Hamas, pick a date, sometime in October.
October 7th.
Wonderful day. October 7th, let's just say randomly that Hamas attacks Jews. And let's pick a number of casualties and deaths.
1,200? 2,000? 1,500, 1,800.
1,800 sounds great.
Okay.
So randomly picking 1,800 casualties. Okay, great. Because this is non-specific and didn't happen. Okay, this is completely speculation. Now, I want you to go ahead and pick an intelligence agency, just a random one.
I'm gonna say.
Yeah. I know. I don't think you're.
That one.
Which one?
Mossad.
Mossad's right. Yes. Oh my God. How can you? It's like we're just like simpatico. We're thinking so Mossad. Well, we'll theoretically just go ahead and pick Mossad, an intelligence agency in Israel. That sounds fun. Okay, so now the players are following. Let's see. We've got this imaginary situation where Israel is attacked on what date again?
October 7th.
By who?
Hamas.
Hamas. And how many people were killed?
1,800.
And how many were injured? We'll just say like 2,500 plus. Okay,
Yeah.
great. And then we had some terrorist groups involved. Who would they be?
I think it was
Well, in our hypothetical situation.
Hezbollah.
And
Houthis.
we didn't say the Houthis, but the Houthis are certainly. We could go ahead and throw them in. Why not?
Okay.
I think it started with. It sounds like something you eat hummus with. Hamas.
Oh, Hamas.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's what you said. Okay, so
Got
there's our scenario. Okay, great. Now I want you to assume that around 9 months ago, this intel agency, who we said would be which intel agency?
It was Mossad.
That's Mossad. Okay, that's what you want it to be.
Yes.
Okay, so Mossad decides that there is an operation of multiple years of cells that are inside of what group do you think?
I'm gonna say Hezbollah.
Fine, good guess. Great. So we'll just say Hezbollah. So Hezbollah has Mossad agents who have infiltrated and essentially are what we would call NOCs in the CIA, non-official covers. They are in deep cover. They have done things that are not good. They have probably done things even to Israeli citizens in order to keep their cover. And they are there for a situation that would come about that would execute a large operational scenario that would benefit and behoove Israel to finally release their cover and get them out of Lebanon to perform a certain test. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, everyone understand? Great. Okay. So let's assume that they had been undercover for 5-7 years and they've infiltrated. They've been passing secrets. They've been spying. They've been doing what they would do, but they are deep cover Mossad agents in a hypothetical. And then about 9 months ago, 80,000, does 80,000 sound good to you? Is that
Yeah.
saying 80,000 Jews get pushed out of northern Israel and get pushed past the demarcation line of Jerusalem where which terrorist group, let's just say, push
Hezbollah?
Hezbollah, push them back? Sure. Why not? They've been shelling, they've been fighting IDF and all this other stuff. And in our imaginary situation, they have essentially pushed into Israel. And Israel, 9 months ago, says, well, we can't necessarily go into Lebanon per se, because we go into Lebanon, what's going to happen? We're going to have a multi-stage, multifaceted war with the Middle East. So we have to be very delicate. Our strikes have to be precise. We have to be careful. But we need to eradicate Hezbollah because that's probably what the Jews would do. I mean, just totally guessing. So we need to come up with a strategy and a plan. Simultaneously, they are hitting, which groups would they roughly be? Mossad is hitting which group?
Hezbollah.
Hezbollah, just randomly with UAV and drones and taking them out. And using sat phone and geodata from cell phones and iPads and computers and everything else, right? I mean, that's what they're targeting. So let's just say Hezbollah and the meetings of the minds go ahead and decide in Beirut to come together and have a meeting with these Mossad agents who are somewhat high ranking and have the ear of Hezbollah. And the topic on the table, besides like raping sheep and throwing acid in women's faces, hypothetically, of course, it comes up that our soldiers, our freedom fighters, aka terrorists, are getting knocked off by Jews and U.S. counterintelligence groups, and they are essentially wiping out our people roughly 9 months ago. So what would happen at that point if two Mossad agents, which are Jews, who have infiltrated Hezbollah, start drawing conversation and leaking information about Israel's technology, and that they are using nav data, geo data from phones to essentially target HVTs, high value targets in Lebanon? And if they plant that little seed, what type of conversation do you think is happening around that table at that point?
How to communicate without high technology
That's
devices.
a fantastic point. In our hypothetical situation, that's absolutely fantastic. So at that point, you then come up with multiple ideas. Now, here with the idea, well, maybe we could go ahead and foil bag all of our phones. No, that's not gonna work. Maybe we can go ahead and use a different form of communication or video games. No, they're on top of that. Maybe we can use WhatsApp, whatever. And then somebody puts the idea in their head and directs them to say, well, we could use flip phones and pagers in this hypothetical situation. The problem is how do we go ahead and make weaponry out of cell phones and pagers of older technology? Because the thing about flip phones is that they are going to use nickel metal hydrate and nickel cad batteries, which are not lithium ion. Lithium ion are contained in a pressure condensed battery. They contain a ton of energy, and when they explode, they absolutely can cause damage, but nothing that we've seen in these videos in any way, shape, or form. And nickel metal hydrate and nickel cad batteries don't necessarily have that. They actually are very easy to split, and they'll leak, and that's the problem with older batteries. Anyone who's had Duracell batteries or an old Christmas snow globe or something, and they open it up and they see the green and the acid on the coils, is ultimately a nickel cad or nickel metal hydrate battery, which has broken its seals because over time they erode and they create pressure, and instead of exploding, they just simply leak. Does this sound good to you, Liv?
Yes. Sounds
great. So what do? Is you hear that people are saying, well, what happened is that these Mossad agents went ahead and sent a signal to these phones and overheated their batteries. Let me explain to you how long that takes. And to simultaneously do that based on various models is not going to work. So that theory that everyone has, I'm letting you know right now, even though this is a completely made up story, is not the case. They didn't overheat batteries, and the technology, in order to make that happen, is not going to yield the result that they're looking for. So you're going to have to do what? If you're going to have pagers and you're going to have flip phones and you want to compromise them to theoretically do damage to various Hezbollah leaders, what would you do?
You're going to have to put something in those devices.
Well, where are those devices? I mean, you can't.
They're going to have to order a crap ton of phones off of somewhere, and I would assume it would be the internet.
So you go ahead and do that, and then all of a sudden they see the purchasing power, and they go ahead and backtrack these phones and find out that it's done by Jews. Okay, plot's over. So in this theoretical situation, you have to own a company which actually produces pagers and flip phones. So what you do is you obviously go to the places more than likely who still create those, which would be Korea and Taiwan and a few other countries. So you go ahead and you have a dummy corporation in South America, all of its licenses and patents and everything else, and its business license and everything it has, the location, rental, lease, everything must be extended as a front, and that company must look 100% legit. So when the people who are responsible for getting these phones and the Mossad agents inside and around the table go ahead and say, well, I know where we can get pagers and flip phones to go ahead and circumvent Israeli intelligence, you have to have a company that's trustworthy. So this company shows Muslim ownership in South America, which has done multiple relationships with drug deals, with Chinese, with Iranians, and all have been literally funneling this stuff as a front. Sends pagers and phones to the Hezbollah militants and one Iranian ambassador. because we know that Iran is proxying the Hezbollah, Houthis, JIB, et cetera, the IRGC, and other terrorist groups, right? Okay, good. So you're right. You'd have to put something in that phone, and you would have to make sure that it's contained in that phone where it's not visible or not seen or not readily and easily accessible by the people who are going to receive those phones. So it's got to be legit, it's got to work, and it's got to work for months, right?
Yep.
Okay. So now that you've done all of that, how about you just put 10 to 20 milligrams of military grade explosives, Semtex C4, whatever you want, into that phone, which essentially is, a couple sticks of gum. And you put that in the phone and contain it in that phone. And then you rewire and solder those devices that when they receive a certain signal being a page or a phone call from a certain number or text from a certain number, that simultaneously it'll be distributed through all the cell towers and the RF frequencies for the pagers, which uses a different frequency than digital. It uses an analog signal, which is done over AM/FM antenna or UHF or low frequency, depending upon which band you're using. And then simultaneously, all of these pagers have a roughly a 5 to 7 second delay and the phones. Why would you want to do that hypothetically?
So they would answer the phone call.
Or check the phone or put their hand on the phone. Well, these videos that we have seen have systematically gone off on multiple people. And the thing that we see is that they get a text, they reach into their pants and blow their hands off, blow off their testicles, their penis. And if they happen to get it out of their pocket in a quick draw situation and put it up to their head, blows their face off. In this hypothetical situation, this would be, if we were to look at things that happen today, a fairly accurate and hypothetical situation that took place. There's no happier sound. In this hypothetical situation, this would make my heart very happy. Gets a text. Count. There's your text.
Which dude hasn't?
Right there. He's looking down to the lower left.
Oh,
Bye-bye.
Geez.
Now, this is all AI rendered and certainly not real because it's all hypothetical. And then you would also have a desk drawer that has a phone in it. And you can see from this, I can put this on actually. You can see from this that these are shaped charges. This is brilliant. In this hypothetical situation, you would want to reduce casualties of civilian nature. So you would want to put something in similar to a claymore, which is a shielded back wall of metal or a ceramic, ultimately, that allows you to push the blast forward and ultimately have what's known as a shaped charge. If you take a look at this dresser, the entire thing isn't blown apart. It's actually got a hole that goes straight down.
Oh, geez.
And that hole, and this is a MDF with laminate top dresser, and there's a hole going straight down, which ultimately shows very little powder burns on the glass. And it shows that there was concussive force. Obviously, shockwave broke glass, but you don't see the insane amount of burns all around or impact on the structure or the walls or the glass. The glass still has intact pieces, which would show you that it's a shaped charge. So whatever they put in there, they put a backing on the phone. So when it was against their skin, ultimately it would blow out and towards the body or testicles or penis or blow their fingertips off or their head off in this theoretical situation as being a charge, in this case where a phone was more than likely being a flip phone face down, and you can see the damage going right through. Now you have to consider, Thomas, in this theoretical situation, this company doesn't exist. In this theoretical situation, the company is a shadow company. It's non-existent. Its entire address, its business, its licenses, everything is a dummy corporation. And the phones were picked up through multiple shell companies, and the financing for this was through multiple shell companies. And these phones, I know the model of the phone and I know the model of the pager. I know where they came from. I'm not releasing any of that information in this hypothetical situation, but I'm telling you that who are you going to attack when this company doesn't exist? So you can see the charge. It's a very small charge. It's enough to take off fingers. It's enough, especially if your hand's enclosed around the device. If it's in an enclosed setting where your hand is reaching for it, it is going to blow chunks of your body and mid-drift off. And this is what these hypothetical devices did. So I'll give you some information here. Just in a completely random situation, which has nothing to do with what I'm reporting on, at least 9 people were killed in this situation. And yes, there were some civilian casualties. An 8-year-old girl lost her life, which is sad and it's horrible. But it's better than a cluster bomb. It's better than a GBU. It's better than a Moab. It's better than a Predator missile. Although it is sad, it is a shame, civilian casualties were minimal. 2,750 people reported were injured. Casualties were Hezbollah members mainly. Some civilians also affected. Also, Iran's ambassador to Lebanon was injured severely. Makes it interesting in this situation, which is completely unrelated to my hypothetical situation, because it's not like I had a conversation with somebody who worked in Mossad or have relationships with people who've worked in Mossad, because that would just be completely far-fetched. And I certainly wouldn't be sharing it with you in this setting unless it was a completely hypothetical situation. I will tell you, in this hypothetical situation that I presented to you would have to be something that was so Machiavellian, so James Bond, so MI6, so Jack Ryan, that I told you all one thing on October 8th after October 7th. Well, 2 things. What are the 2 things I said about Israel, honey? Do you remember?
That you're going to find out how many people actually hate Jews.
And?
The Jews aren't going to mess around.
Yeah, you don't screw with Jews. If nobody's watched the movie Munich or read the book, go read Munich and learn about Munich. And the Jews always get revenge, and they always get their man. This was one of the most, in a hypothetical situation, one of the most amazing forms of clandestine counterintelligence and direct offensive HVT targeting that I've ever seen in my life. There is nothing that's ever been pulled off of this magnitude. This is some James Bond shit. This is unreal. In a hypothetical situation, of course.
Of course.
Just in a hypothetical. Explosives occurred all pretty much simultaneously. The only delayed reactions were between the pagers and the cell phones. And there was a delayed reaction of 5 to 7 seconds. And the reason why is because I believe in a hypothetical situation that maximum damage you would want. You would want that hand around. So what do? You stop them from reproducing. You stop them from having a weapon hand. And you essentially eliminate them from being a member of Hezbollah because they no longer can function. So you put a delay on there in a hypothetical. This didn't happen just specifically in Lebanon. It was in Beirut, in Bekaa Valley, specifically, and Damascus, Syria, where also they had pagers. So they use this massive replacement of, in this hypothetical situation, their communique and their communication devices with flip phones and analog pagers to avoid Israeli intelligence by the recommendation of Mossad. The information was linked back that they were open to this change of communications. And Israel stepped in with their pseudo company and ensured that all of these pagers and cell phones had enough military grade C4 Semtex to take somebody's hand off or their genitalia or their head in this complete hypothetical situation. So the explosions were all targeted and controlled. It was remote. The reporting from multiple agencies is that it was likely from Mossad. Oh, holy, what? What, Liv? Holy moly.
I know.
How did
Good
we
guess?
Dude, what a hypothetical situation that came true. Wow, we're lucky. Reuters, AP, Al Jazeera, and others are reporting that this was more than likely Mossad. Oh, I can't believe it's just unbelievable. They were reportedly rigged with small explosives that detonated when the users interacted. You heard it here first, folks. The first initial reaction is that it was overheating batteries. And while I was hearing this story, hypothetically, I may have been having a conversation, hearing actually what took place. Hezbollah blamed Israel for the attack, calling it criminal aggression. It's just good. It's just good fun. It's good. It's just a good bombing. You know, see, because these guys usually clack off a vest and they take women and children and anyone else. At least these charges were shaped charges, at least hypothetically. They were designed to be a anti-personnel, singular personnel device and limited the amount of casualties. That's just good bombing. IDF and government did not officially comment on the incident, of course, because hypothetically this never took place. Hospitals across Lebanon were overwhelmed with injuries, particularly to the face and hands and abdomen, also the dick. Lebanese government urged people to dispose of any pagers they possessed and placed healthcare facilities on high alert. It's just hypothetical that maybe it's not just pagers and not just cell phones, that there are other possible devices that could have explosives or incendiary precursors inside of them. But it would be just a complete hypothetical, of course. Just a complete hypothetical, because you know we don't deal with facts here. We just hypothetical. Yeah, I can't show that. I'll get blacklisted. So we'll just leave that right there. The attack obviously escalates tensions between Israel, if Israel even did this. I mean, hypothetically, I guess it would increase tensions between Israel and Lebanon border. But it's interesting that they just overtook those 80,000 locations and 80,000 civilians went back into northern Israel. And then simultaneously, these things happen. It's almost like that if IDF were to do this, Olivia, it would have been a decision to limit the amount of operational control. It also would limit their command and control, which the first stasis of war is to destroy the command and control. The C3 or now C4, the three C's, command, control, communication, and computers, to eliminate those three things. So a snake without a head is a headless snake and therefore less of a threat. It's almost like IDF and Mossad planned this to ensure the safe relocation of the 80,000 displaced Jews. I mean, unbelievable coincidence. There it is. I hope in this hypothetical scenario, y'all got a little bit of information that you could at least pontificate and speculate of what could possibly be to a real life event that may have taken place today or not. What do you think about this hypothetical situation, Liv? What's your reaction to it when you heard it?
My hypothetical reaction was I have absolutely no sympathy for anyone that had one of those pagers.
Yeah, me neither. In a hypothetical situation.
In a hypothetical. It was hypothetical. Of course.
I do have a new video of a Hezbollah parade if you'd like to see it. Does anyone want to see this?
Sure.
I try to bring the most accurate information to all of you. It's very important to me. So here is the most recent Hezbollah parade that they just put on after this event.
طمني عنك من شان الله من شان الله طمني عنك الو ولك الو.
That's funny.
So listen, let's give them all a hand. So They need it more than us. It couldn't happen to a more degenerate, cowardly, despicable group of, dare I say, barely human beings. They deserved everything they got. And I not only do I absolutely approve this hypothetical situation as it's been laid out in front of you, I want more. Because this is the shit that strikes terror. This is the difference between the United States and Israel. The United States bombs from afar and wants to create attrition. Jews want to create fear in their enemy, that there is nobody crazier than Jews. Today, in this hypothetical situation, if actually Israel did do this and Mossad was responsible along with the IDF, this would be a long stride into creating terror from a group that claims to be terrorists. Because I'll tell you, man, when Israel decides to take off the gloves, there is no more terrifying country on the planet. You can say all you want about Jews. You can say all you want about the Rothschilds and all this speculation that they run the country. This is what they're good at. They have by far one of the most successful counterintelligence groups on the planet. As good as Russia is at counterintelligence from a disinformation and propaganda standpoint, counteroffensives through the intelligence apparatus and operations, IDF and Mossad are hands down the best. This proves it. Like I said, this is some James Bond shit. America would not have the balls or the ingenuity to do something like this. This is basically a group of Mossad agents who are responsible for strike in the intel capacity are sitting around and they're looking across a table with all of their armaments. And they're looking at their fighters, they're looking at their explosives, they're looking at their air and ground capabilities, their every type of weaponry that they possess in their arsenal. And somebody goes, you know what? What if somebody picked up a phone at the table and said, I got an idea. What if we put military grade explosives inside of a phone and pager and then called them on the day that we want to execute the operation? And people are like, oh, that's good. Yeah, let's do that. Well, how many billions is this going to cost? Who gives a shit? America's paying for it. Let's do it. I have been absolutely giddy all day since I've heard this. I think this is awesome. And anybody who wants to say, oh my God, Matt, you're barbaric, you're horrible. You know what? I don't care. I think it's great. I think Christmas came early. Anytime we can kill terrorists, it's a good day. Here's what one of the phones looked like after exploding, Olivia.
Oh, wow. Nice.
Yeah. Well, what's funny is that those pieces of metal and plastic and glass and anything else, most of them are plastic, essentially moves at a certain velocity and becomes shrapnel. The battery becomes a lethal, bullet of death. What are you doing?
I have texting work real quick.
Oh.
Yes. Sorry.
Oh, it's okay. We're only doing a show. You know what? You want to stop?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I'll just no. We'll stop. We'll wait for you. Go ahead.
No, it's good.
Are you sure?
Yes.
So no, I didn't understand. Anyway, so that's where we're at. I just figured I would share it with you. Is everything okay at work?
Yeah. Yeah, we're just trying to figure out a couple things about
awesome.
tomorrow.
Why don't you tell them to pay you for that and or get off my show because we're busy and we're trying to do something. I believe that if you can execute and prosecute a war by not only outthinking the enemy, but outdoing them on something that they consider themselves to be pros at, I think Iran, I think Damascus, I think Syria, and I think Lebanon got a very poignant message that says, FAFO. F around and find out. And if you want to go ahead and continue this war, these are the type of things that will happen. Anyway, what are your thoughts? What are your opinions? I hope that I hope that information is good for you. I think U.S. may have something to do with it. There has been where supposedly U.S. or some big tech nation that utilized old microchip tech backdoor and pushed the Iran power plant to malfunction and almost blowing them up. Yeah, I have no comment. I have absolutely no comment, Kyung. Sorry. That would be a hypothetical conversation that I'm not willing to have. I want to show you a video that's going to make you kind of sick. Liv, you're going to love this. This is from veteran.
It's going to make me sick, but I'm going to love it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Veterans for Responsible Leadership decided to go ahead and make a video. They've got 30,000 followers. And I just want to barf. I want to show you this video, and it's going to have a visceral reaction with our audience, so I apologize. But 1.6 million people have seen this absolute bullshit. Here you go. Enjoy this.
Kill and the black people is the millions of people that he's allowed to come in through the border. They're taking black jobs now, and it could be 18.
What are black jobs?
19 and even 20 million people. They're taking black jobs.
I'm still voting for him, Nia.
I prefer people that weren't captured. That's what he said about a prisoner of the Vietnam War.
That's enough.
He referred to you vets as suckers and losers.
I said that's enough.
During the Black Lives Matter protest, he wanted U.S. forces to shoot protesters in the leg. Would you do that move?
The leg? Yeah, it's better than sending him a pager and a freaking flip phone.
Shoot me?
And Mom, you're also not black. You lied to me. You've lied to me my whole life. You're white. And you're a ginger. Fucking savage. Give me a break. Honey, you forgot your pick. So glow. Okay, sorry.
Reportedly.
Yeah, so does burning shit down. All right. So I want to get reaction. Phone lines are open if anyone's interested. 804-212-2208. Don't call me a racist. I'm not a fucking racist. That commercial is stupid. It's complete bullshit. And you know, the white trash freaking I just got done looking like I drank a fifth of vodka mother. You think she would have that conversation outside the park? Let's talk about this. Let's break this down, okay? So there's 3 accusations in the film. One is that black jobs. That it's racist to say black jobs, okay? The second one is that John McCain, Vietnam War hero, was captured, was in Hanoi Hilton, which is a concentration camp, coined. And the third is that he said, can I shoot protesters in the leg? Shoot them or something. Okay? Liv, what are your thoughts on the video?
That it's really dumb. And it's kind of up there. It doesn't have the production quality that the other commercials have by that stupid group. The one that produces my favorite commercials ever.
And her daughter and her look nothing alike. Like whoever did the casting just sucked.
Yeah.
They were horrible.
So yeah, it's kind of right up there with that, but they need to need to think of some better commercials that are a little more believable, because the keyword reportedly, there is no fact to this. No one knows. It's not a fact that he said that. So,
well, let's break it down, right?
Yes.
Black jobs. Did Donald Trump say black jobs?
I
yes.
think he did say black jobs.
And
yes.
so did Joe Biden. So did Bill Clinton. So did Ronald Reagan. So did Barack Obama. Whenever they're talking about the inner city, whenever they're talking, they've said minority jobs. They've said jobs for illegal immigrants. Nancy Pelosi. Excuse you. You okay?
Geez, yeah.
Nancy Pelosi, Maxine Waters, Chuck Schumer, all have said jobs for illegal immigrants, jobs that illegals will take, that American citizens won't take. Black jobs means jobs in black neighborhoods. So that's what a black job means. Okay. Dolomite. Okay, cool. Now that we've got that established. So just because Donald Trump says it doesn't mean it's racist. It's black jobs. Unless you believe that jobs in Beverly Hills are for black people. You believe that we're going to go to Tucumcari, New Mexico for black jobs. You know what he means. You just want to make a big deal of it because you can say black. You can drop the N-word with a soft ER all day long and it's not racist. But as soon as Whitey says it, holy shit, the world's got a meltdown. I'm sorry. I'm calling spades. Okay, I didn't mean it like that. I didn't. Sorry. That's not what I meant. For those people who are from the 1970s and 80s and just realized that I just made a racial epitaph. I'm calling a spade. If you're going to sit here and say that every single thing that Donald Trump says is racist, even though there's not one racist policy that he's pushed through, there's not one executive order, there's not one racist policy he has right now. You may not like what he's saying about Haitians. I understand that. I'm not particularly fond of this. I think it's stupid. He needs to be focused on the economy. He needs to be focused on geopolitics. He needs to be focused on the border. Those are the three things that I would focus on. I wouldn't shut up about it. But maybe Donald Trump is pissed. Maybe after getting shot at the first time where he was amicable and kind, and he finally said, you know what, fuck this. I'm calling him out. You got me. Yeah. All right. Next one. Let's talk about John McCain and then Hanoi Hilton, the prisoner of war hero.
Hanoi Hilton. It sounds like a hotel.
That's why that's the joke.
Yeah.
Coined by the sorry. I got to get this thing set up. Why is this one way over here? Whoops. Sorry. I've got this damn thing.
Oh, our money thing went off too, our goal.
I know. That's what I'm trying to get fixed. I don't know why it's doing this because I forgot to turn it back on. Okay. There it is. Okay. Folks, linktapgo.com/the dumb show. Help out the dumb show. You don't get content like this anywhere else. I mean, all this amazing sneezing and
coughing
and speculative conversations.
Hypothetically,
all these things. John McCain, I'm sorry. I'm going to say something. Being a POW, in my opinion, is not something I understand. I've obviously never had, I've never had happen to me. Please get the cat out of here. It's really distracting. It's just driving me crazy. She needs to go away.
Yeah.
Like, we need to close the door and not let her. And just get a shot collar, and every time she touches the door, just dial her pager and fix this problem. Let's
dial her pager.
Do you want a flip phone, baby? You want a little flip phone? We got a flip phone for you.
That's horrible.
I know. I'm just teasing. I love her. But seriously, her ass and her climbing the microphone, it's enough. I mean, having her just be in the shot once in a while is really cute. But it needs to stop.
She's starting to get real needy when I'm on
this
the show
jealousy
right
needs to stop.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really getting bad. It's like Taylor Swift stalking level. All right, we got a lot to cover tonight. I don't consider being a POW makes you a war hero. I think it deserves our utmost respect. I think it deserves, when that person speaks, we listen. We like seeing her. Okay, great. Just great. See the cat. So, you know what's funny is Olivia's the one that booted her last night. I mean, Olivia's bitching all night about her. Will you say something so I don't look like the jerk?
I kicked her out of the room last night. She was annoying. She bit me.
Thank you.
Seriously,
I'm like defending my wife, and you guys are like, "Oh, why do you allow that to happen? Why aren't you like, geez, Matt, thanks for defending me." I get. Stop it, Matt. Stop it. When you were the one that was like wanted to make her into a rug last night. So, listen, John McCain, Here's the thing. John McCain was a fervent Republican until Donald Trump entered the picture, like most neocons. I have nothing ill to speak of him. I think that he had TDS of epic proportions. I think what Donald Trump said about him was stupid, and I think what John McCain did to the Affordable Care Act was stupid. I don't think he's a war hero. Sorry. I've read the accounts of what he said and what he did there. I know some of the people in his squad and some of the people who were in the service and were in Hanoi, what they had to say when they left and how quickly he supposedly shared information of a sensitive nature, and the resistance factor was limited. And some of the treatment from the Viet Cong, when they had someone that would speak, when they had someone who would divulge information, their treatment would change. Their food rations would change. Their overall punishments would change. And they would use those people kind of like the purveyor of truth to turn other people to convince them. Am I saying that he is a coward? No. Am I saying he's not a hero? Yes. Thank you, Bobby. I don't agree with what Donald Trump said. I think it was stupid. I think Donald Trump makes too many unforced errors. He reminds me of the Houston Astros. Trump needs to stop unforced errors, and he's in the playoffs, and he's got to stop. He's got to stop throwing over first base's head. He's got to stop fumbling the ball on a fly ball. He's got to stop, throwing it over the middle in an off-speed pitch and completely just sends a softball over the plate to get hit for 432 feet. This is the stuff that he's got to stop. Now, was John McCain completely antithetical to the Donald Trump movement, the MAGA movement? Yes. He voted against everything. He was horrible. He was a rhino. He did not follow the basic unspoken rule, but he hated Trump. So they both did not act in the best interest of our country. They both acted in their own self-interest. There it is. There it is. I'm just completely honest. Do I have any ill will towards the McCain family? No. Do I think Meghan McCain's full of shit? Sure. Do I think John McCain should have done some things that were in better collective interest for the United States? Sure. Do I think Donald Trump shouldn't have gotten into that? Yeah, but that's not Donald Trump. And he wouldn't be Donald Trump if he wouldn't say things when people insult him. And he also went after a Gold Star family. He went after a Mexican reporter. Donald Trump has no fear. If you slap him and you come after him, he is going to come after you with both horns.
If Israel were a person.
What?
If Israel were a person.
Is that they're saying would be Donald Trump?
Yeah, I said that. I just
Oh
thought
yeah.
of that.
Oh yeah. From his but yeah, he doesn't hold back. And this is why a lot of people love him, and this is why a lot of people hate him. I had a good friend of mine who was with me from the 2020 election when I did the show, and is still a fan of this show. And his name's Mike, and I'm not going to give his last name, but most of you know him, and he's a very smart man. He's in high-level corporate positions. I almost went to go work with his company. I was this close, but I would have had to move to California again, and I was like, no, I'm not going to do that. But just an incredibly smart, compassionate conservative who I just love and adore. He also knows the elections like I do, and we love this time of year. And he reached out to me today and he's just saying, Matt, I'm not feeling really good about this. And I said, you shouldn't be. Donald Trump has an uphill climb. And honestly, he lost the election in January 6th, and he lost it for 3 years as he talked about a stolen election. And now he is trying to prosecute the Biden and Kamala Harris campaign and administration and associate this disheveled mess we have in this country so people forget about the 3 years that he was a horse's ass. I'm sorry. You guys know how I feel. You rode with it with me. He was. You don't need to be saying while you're running about J6 political prisoners that you're going to go ahead and pardon all of them. You don't need to go ahead and keep talking about stolen elections. You're trying to get people to vote. You're trying to encourage people to vote. It's almost like I don't know. It's almost like boycotting a chemotherapy center when you're trying to have cancer treatment. It's like, what are you doing? So that 3 years, and just recently, the last year, Donald Trump has come back. He has been the person who I voted for in 2020, who I actually started to admire in 2016. And Olivia has said it, and we've all said it, that we've seen a different. And if he wasn't doing something wrong, he wouldn't have had to change. We all know this, right? So it's good to see him doing this, but he's got to stop the unforced errors. Haiti, the Haitians, this is not the fight we need to fight right now. You don't need to be fighting this. He should never have said about the dogs, and he should never say babies are being executed, because he's got to learn how to phrase things.
Yes.
To help people understand. Now, are babies post-birth being put down by a doctor and a mother's decision based upon the quality of life that child may or may not have? Yes. And it's happened 8 times in Minnesota. I can tell you all across the country it's happened. But you don't need to go to extreme to sell people on the idea of abortion, because most people believe in a very common sense approach to abortion. Most people. Leftists aren't common sense people. They're insane. So he just needs to slow down. He needs to stop the unforced errors. That's my point. Okay. I'm not coming down on Trump. I'm saying we want to win, right? We want to win. Great. If you want to win, then hit her on the economy. He's been to 3 states in a week. I understand the assassination attempts have to be slowing him down. I have to think he was scared. He should be. But this guy is so brave for him to keep doing this. Now, I'm going to show you something that Cuomo said about him today that just blew me away. And Cuomo's a dick, but what he said was incredible. But if he's going to do this, he's got to get out there. He's got to be holding rallies, 2 or 3 rallies a day. He's got to get out there. He has got to fight this machine. And Kamala Harris has more guns than he does, has more money than he does, is outnumbered, has a better ground game than he does. I love that he's doing podcasts and interviews and using social media. I love that. And he's doing more than anybody. But he's got to be doing his rallies. He's got to be seen. He's got to be out there and showing these gigantic 30,000 people rallies. That's the shit he needs to be doing right now. Here's Cuomo. Liv, you'll like this.
Okay.
And I'm going to play all 4 minutes. Now, I want to be completely, I don't hate Chris Cuomo. I think he and his brother are complete twats.
And yet
But he's not stupid. He's not, Tommy says, literally has more guns. That's true. I don't hate Chris Cuomo. I don't like him. I don't think that his policy is good. But there were times that he would speak and I would enjoy what he had to say. But let's just be clear. This guy is sucking up to the right because he has no future with the left. Okay? He's doing exactly what Tulsi Gabbard did. Tulsi Gabbard was diehard Democrat, socialist, progressive, voting all frickin' leftist policies. One of the most progressive outside of Kamala Harris. And then she went ahead and ran for president and sandbagged, and she was essentially excommunicated from the Democratic Party. So she quit and she came over to the middle ground and now leans more conservative. Cuomo's doing the same thing. Fired from CNN, and now he's coming over. And a lot of these guys are. Don Lemon's doing the opposite. Don Lemon has gone full cuck. Let's listen to this real quick. Yeah, he's doing a town hall. That's great. He's got to be hitting these. I might turn that on in a second. Here, watch this. Oh, it ended? All right, thanks.
And you can think what you want about Trump. He does not have many more full-throated critics of what he says and does than me. Okay? And yet I called him today.
Folks, can you do me a favor, please? Can everyone hit the like and share? We got to get these likes up on this show. We've got hundreds and hundreds of people who come in here and watch, and we don't get the likes. And if you're on Wimkin, if you're on Twitter, put the heart on there, Twitter people. Come on, man. I know Twitter people are on here right now. There's a ton of you. I know you're watching. We got to get you guys talking. We got to get you guys involved. So if you haven't, hit that like button. We can't grow on Twitter. I will tell you this. Our Twitter for once has actually started to climb. We're out of 5,200. For the first time in a year, floating between 5,190 and 5,200, we have eclipsed past 52 for the first time. So whatever you're doing is working, but you got to hit that like, you got to hit share, you got to subscribe. Help us out, please. Thanks.
Because because I am ashamed of how we are responding and not responding to the threats on him. And I feel for his family. And I know you can roll your eyes and say, oh, yeah, he asked for it. Listen, that's your choice, and I think it's a wrong choice.
Yep.
Okay?
Agreed.
We got to get out of the judgment business unless it's judging ourselves. And you got to start rewarding things that are better. And I got to tell you, I don't know how he stays in the race. I don't know how he got up after being shot in the head. And you people who try to mitigate that, you need to check yourself.
Yep. That a boy.
He gets up, pumping his fist, stays in the race, barely even talks about it. Now, look, I do believe he has wasted opportunities, and he has another one now. Who better than Trump to say, we can do better? I can do better. I know he keeps doubling down on his angry rhetoric. How can he not? It keeps working for him. I don't know that it gets him elected. My theory is that he needs to expand. He had a chance to do it after he was the target of an assassination at the RNC. He had a chance to say, I know what got me here. It's not going to get me where I want us to be. He did not take that chance. He now has another chance. Oh, you're supporting Trump. I'm supporting us. The idea that I am a Trump supporter is laughable to the man on your screen right now. That is not what this is. I am worried about us. I am ashamed of what's happening around us right now and the relative lack of concern about it. I just don't see how we get anywhere better than where we are right now. Look, I'm not blaming Democrats. I'm really not. I blame the guy. And whatever disease he has that the people around him either knew about and did nothing about. The guy was arrested 20 years ago for barricading himself in a room with all these weapons. Where are we caring about one another? Where are we taking care of our own? Where are we pushing to get help? We're leaving people languishing, dying on the streets. What is going on with us? I don't get it. That's why I reached out to Trump. I wanted to just say, listen, I'm really sorry
You're part of
that
it.
this is going on and it's being dealt with this way. Not because I'm in favor of his politics.
God, dude, stop clarifying to your audience. Why can't people just... I just went off on Trump a little bit and I didn't apologize. Just stop apologizing. It's your fucking job to be critical of our elected officials. It's the most patriotic thing you can do. And if you think that Trump shouldn't be questioned, then you're just as bad as Biden supporters. Every one of them deserve to be questioned. We have to question Trump on things. I still want an answer on the vaccines. I still want an answer on tariffs. I still want an answer on bump stock. I still want an answer on red flag laws. There's a lot of things I want answers for. It's not going to stop me from voting for him, but I'm not going to sit up there and ask that question and go, but I'm a really big Trump supporter. If people don't know that, then they can unfollow you. Can we just get some balls with these talking heads, please? If my audience doesn't like what I say, then take the night off. Leave. Come back tomorrow. Maybe I'll be saying something that you enjoy. Liv, this is called being red-pilled.
Red-pilled?
Mm-hmm. Remember in The Matrix, they had like a blue pill and a red pill for Neo to take, and he took the red pill, he would wake up and come out of the Matrix and eat gooey porridge. And if he took the blue pill, he would go back to sleep and be put back into a stasis of being in an incubator battery.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. So red pill is mean, the way they use it. If you take the red pill, you become conservative and you wake up from your Democrat leftist nightmare. And if you're blue pilled, you were red, and then you woke up and left your conservative nightmare. And then there's people like Nick Fuentes who are black pilled. These are the people who completely have left the farm, and they hate Trump, love Trump, hate Trump, don't even know who the fuck they are. They're so negative. They're so hateful and resentful. They hate everybody. They hate everybody. Blacks, Muslims, Jews, Donald Trump, Joe Biden, Kamala Harris. They're black pilled. And there's a lot of black-pilled people out there, and they are huge. But a lot of people are saying this is a red pill moment for Cuomo. And I wouldn't call it that. I call it a human moment. A human moment. That's a big difference. What do you think about what he's saying?
I mean, it's nice to hear it from him, but this doesn't make up for everything that you said about him for 4 years when he was in office.
They are lying for your brother who got people killed during COVID.
And everything that you said after he was not reelected. A 4-minute speech does not forgive all your sins. And he's got a long way to go. And if he wants to get my respect. Now, hats off to him for saying this in a public fashion. But he's still got his lips puckered up to the left right now because he's making excuses for what he's saying.
Right.
If he really wanted to, he would just say it, just like you said. He doesn't need to make excuses and explain himself to the left. And that's the sad thing about the left is if somebody has a different opinion than what you're supposed to have, they have to make an excuse as to why they have it.
Right.
And why they feel that way.
Right. They have to explain it away. Like
you shouldn't have to.
They got to mansplain it.
You shouldn't have to. If you have an opinion, say your opinion. That should be it.
Yeah.
You shouldn't have to explain why you have that opinion.
Yeah. Like Eric Erickson is like literally throwing gasoline on his fan base. And I'm like, you go, boy. I mean, like, if that's what you want to do, he doesn't apologize to his base. I mean, this guy just basically just trashes Trump all the time and says things that are just baffling. But, it is what it is. You got to mute your show for us, please. And who's on the phone?
Hey, it's Frank, man.
Hey, what's up, Frank? What are you going to talk about?
Well, hi, Olivia.
Hi.
You're looking great tonight.
Thank you.
Stop hitting on my wife.
I'm not, dude.
You fucking leches. Why don't you say I look good? You're like, oh, God damn, Matt, you look good tonight. Just once.
All right, we need a female caller to come and hit on Matt,
can someone
please?
hit on me?
You always look great, Matthew.
Thanks, buddy. Thanks, Frankie. I got you. All right, what do you want to talk about, buddy?
Well, listen, you know who Sean Ryan is, correct?
Very much so, yeah.
Okay. Today, I watched a 2-hour interview with him interviewing Tulsi Gabbard.
Yeah.
And I got to tell you, I was kind of where you were when it came to how you felt about Tulsi Gabbard. And, she kind of switched allegiances for no good reasons. But I got to be honest with you, man. After watching that interview, I completely changed how I felt about this woman. If you listen to what she was saying, assuming she was not blowing smoke up my ass, I really think she is a real human being who has changed her way of thinking. And I think people have that ability. I would like to give that to them and think that, okay, you can think one way, at this point in your life, and then certain things happen. And then all of a sudden you kind of wake up a little bit. And you go, oh man, okay, now I see what's going on. I was wrong. Now I see the light. Mm-hmm. So I don't know how you feel about that, but I'd like your comment on it.
So okay, well, I'll give it to you. So let me ask you a question. Do you love our country?
Absolutely.
Okay. Are you pro-life?
Absolutely.
Okay. Are you pro-gun?
Absolutely. I have my share of them.
Okay. Are you pro-cash bail? Which means that they need cash to bail out in situations, which means they need to have a bail bond. They can't. Okay, good. Do you believe in the
absolutely?
Hold on, I get more questions. Do you believe that we need to solidify and continue to build our defense?
Yes, without a doubt.
Do you believe in the sovereignty of our borders?
Absolutely. I think borders are there for a reason. And
Frank, this is going to be a long conversation if you don't say yes. Just say yes or no. Okay, let me get through this.
Yes.
Do you believe No, don't call me sir either. I'm not trying to be a dick. I'm just like, it's going to be a long conversation if we don't just say yes or no. We know your positions. I'm asking, these are rhetorical questions. Do you believe in a mandatory minimum wage? Across the country, every single state needs to have one mandatory minimum wage.
Are you talking about this $15 an hour thing?
California wants to do $25 an hour. That means every single state in the country would need to do $25 an hour, no matter if it's Kentucky or West Virginia, a mandatory federal minimum wage.
Okay, I think that should be up to whoever the person is
it's up to the
paying
state.
that wage.
It's up to the state. It's up to the person. Got it. But but if it's federally mandated, it's against the law to pay anyone other than that $25 an hour, $15 an hour. Do you believe in that, or should that be up to the individual business to pay and use a free market system to pay? And if people want to work there, they will or they won't.
Individual person, not federally mandated.
Okay, great. Do you believe in God?
Absolutely.
You believe in the right to worship, the right to, celebrate the flag or not celebrate the flag. These are all things that you agree with.
I believe we should respect the flag and we should celebrate it for what it stands for.
All right. Now we got your positions. Now I want you to tell me, what is it going to take for you to believe in abortion, to decrease the defense spending, open the border, create a federal minimum wage, question the ability for people to worship God in their own home and in other places, the respect for the overall flag, not to replace our flag with an LGBTQ flag inside classrooms, remove ours, and start indoctrinating our children into the belief that men can be women and women can be men and sexual mutilation. What do you believe about, what's it going to take to change you about mail-in ballots? What's it going to change you about being pro-gun? I'm not done. What's going to change for you to be pro-gun? Okay, so please tell me all those things that you just said you were for and you believe in, and your ideology is set. What will it take for you to abandon all those principles and go all the way over to the other side? That's my question. I'll let you talk.
Not going to happen, because now you're asking me to be a leftist and you're asking me to go against everything that I firmly believe in. God, country, family. I'm not going to change that. I don't care what you do.
Good answer. So I'll do you a solid. I will call you Frank, and I won't call you Tulsi fucking Gabbard anymore. Because that's what Tulsi fucking Gabbard did. She abandoned every ideology and principle that she had, and all of a sudden just woke up and said, I am against everything that I was for, that 2 years ago I ran for the president on, and it's still on my webpage. You can go to Political, or you can go to her website, and all those policies are still there. I understand people leaving a party and waking up like Dave Rubin, but Dave Rubin had to give me 4 or 5 years of dedicated conservative loyalty to make that happen. Tulsi Gabbard's got another 3 or 4 years for me even to remotely trust her. Great. I love that she's saying these things. I love that she's passionate. I love that she's speaking out. But honestly, I don't trust her as far as I can fucking throw her.
Well, as I said before, I don't know where she's coming from philosophically. I think she's being honest. You'd have to watch the interview, the full 2-hour interview.
I did watch
to
it.
Form your own position.
I did. Sean Ryan's one of the only. Ryan's one of the only shows I watch because he's a team guy, and he's interviewed some of my friends and people who I ultimately respect, and I would love to sit down with him one day. I'm not saying it wasn't a fantastic interview. I'm not saying that she doesn't speak a great game. I'm not saying she's not even altruistic in her beliefs. I'm saying that I have to remember that she abandoned every single belief and principle that she told us was who she was. And I don't trust anyone who does that, right or left. I'm glad she's here.
Then
I'm glad she's here.
I will tell you this.
Yeah.
I'm not educated in what her former ideals were. And I will admit that. So I was going based on what I've seen from her in the last month or so, and going forward from that.
Yeah. And she's hot, Frank. I mean, let's face it. She's freaking smoking. She's beautiful. She's a veteran.
Did you notice the pockmarks on the right side of her face?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. She looks like she'd been through whatever. No,
Well,
I'm starting to sound like Mel.
probably
Anyway.
had some acne. No, she probably had some acne and issues. I don't know. I will tell you this: if Tulsi Gabbard was here right now, I'd have the same conversation with her. Not as effective as Ryan does, because he's just incredible. I mean, he's an amazing interviewer. I love his show, and I watch it because he doesn't make me think. That's why I love watching him. He just lets his guests talk, and he just asks extremely simple, down to earth, and he speaks to Midwesterners and people in just such an effective way. I love his style. Like Jocko Willink has kind of died on the vine, but I like Jocko's style too. Jocko was that way. But my points is that if Tulsi Gabbard was here, I would be like, oh my God, it's Tulsi Gabbard. I can't wait to have a conversation with you. And the first thing I would ask her is the same things I asked you. What are your beliefs on these situations? Okay, what made you abandon everything that you were? How can you, I understand that you're upset with what they're doing with transgenders. I understand what you're doing with their overall spending. I understand the extremism that they have and what they're doing and what they're saying. But why does that stop you from abortion? Why does that stop you from federal minimum wage? Why does that stop you from cash bail? Why does that stop you from vouchers, not supporting school choice? Why did all of your beliefs change? And then she's going to say this. Either she's going to say, well, because they not answer the question, or she'll say, well, they didn't. A lot of those beliefs I still hold. And then every single conservative should stop and say, whoa, wait a second. There's a fox in the hen house. And I thought her doing the debate with Donald Trump was the biggest mistake ever. And guess what? It was, because Donald Trump did not do well in that debate. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it absolutely does. It
yeah.
does. Now you're making me think a little bit more about what I've heard in the past or haven't heard, and what I heard today.
Yeah, she's turning a leaf at least. She's at least saying the thing. But remember this, she was very popular with liberals. Okay? And then with what she did to Kamala Harris and what she did in that primary, she lost all support from Democrats, and they turned on her. They called her a dino. They said that she was a wolf in sheep's clothing. And then, she came out and said, I'm leaving the Democrat Party. And that's okay. I'm fine with that. The caveat to this is that I remember too much of who she was, what she voted on, what bills she supported. And she was the second most progressive legislator in Congress outside of who? Kamala Harris. And if we're like, there is no chance in hell that we believe Kamala Harris has flipped her switch, well, then why the hell do we believe Tulsi Gabbard flipped her switch? Because she says she did? I am hesitant, and I need some time before I completely support her transition to the conservative party. That's all. And she hasn't. She's still an independent, she says. So,
right.
That's it.
Right. And I agree with what you're saying. I have to go back to what I said earlier about I would like to give people the benefit of the doubt. I would like to think that she saw the error of her ways and realized that the Democrat Party was not all it was cracked up to be, and she decided to say, hey, screw it, I'm out of here. I got to go a different direction. And that is kind of what I took away from that interview that I watched today. And again, I love Sean Ryan. I mean, man, that guy is my hero. I love the way he interviews people. Yep. I love the way he shuts up and lets them talk.
Yep.
I think that is one of the best qualities of someone who interviews personalities that you can possibly have. Let them have the stage. Let them say what they need to say. Keep your ideals out of it. Although he does come back with questions like, well,
he does.
This is kind of what I thought. How do you feel about that? He's great at that. I love the guy. But again, and I'm with you, Matthew. I want to give her a chance. She's going to have to prove to me the things that she's saying. Okay.
Sure.
We cannot listen to, just because they say something doesn't mean they're going to follow through with what they say. It usually takes you at least a couple of years to see how that progresses. I don't know if you agree with me with that or not.
Well, here's what I would say, and I'm sorry I don't treat you like Sean Ryan, because like when Eli was on, I did a lot of listening. When I've had authors on, I do a lot of listening. When I had Brandon Michon on, I do a lot of listening. I like to just have a conversation with people. So that's why you and I are we have a shorthand and we just talk. Here's my point. I have friends who are liberal. I have friends who are conservative. I have socialist friends. Okay. I've got every walk of life. I listen to Bill Maher, for God's sakes. I've been listening to Cenk Uygur lately.
I do too.
I listen to Cenk because I don't like Cenk, but I think sometimes he actually says things that are somewhat lucid now, and it scares me. But Tulsi Gabbard, I would have her over for dinner. I would sit down with her. I'd have her on my show. I would love to talk to that lady, but you asked me if I trust her. And there are people who are much more aligned in my beliefs who I believe are going to protect the Constitution, protect the Bill of Rights, protect, the Declaration of Independence, which is a founding staple in those other two documents, than Tulsi Gabbard, who I don't trust. People who absolutely espouse that they care about those things, and I don't trust them as far as I can throw them. I would love to have a conversation with Tulsi, but I'm not going to carry water for her ever until I know that she is aligned with my thinking on things. Now, does that mean I wouldn't be her friend? Does that mean I wouldn't say nice things about her? Does that mean I wouldn't defend her? No, I'll do all those things. But trust is a completely different question. And your words were
Agreed.
Trust. No, I don't trust her at all. I don't trust Tucker Carlson either.
I don't trust any of them.
I don't trust.
I'll be honest with you. And that includes Trump. I hate to say this, but I just do not trust any politicians, even though I don't consider Trump a politician per se.
Oh, he's a politician now.
He's a businessman.
No, not anymore.
Well, he's learning how to be a politician.
He's a politician, okay, brother. I mean, anybody who's run for president 3 times, you're a politician. Come on, he's a politician. He's just not a sellout. He's not a sellout. Not a sellout. Right?
I'll give you that one.
He's not a sellout. When he says that he cares about this country, when he says he can't be bought, I believe that. And anyone who sits here and goes, "Oh, he's bought by Putin," and just seriously, I'm so sick of these people. But Sean Ryan is a wonderful person to follow. Like I said, I don't know him. I've never met him. I've met and spoke with multiple people who he's interviewed. I would even consider a couple of the people who he's interviewed to be friends. And they have nothing but wonderful things to say about the guy. He is one of the team guys who doesn't get called a sellout for selling his story. He doesn't have the same type of baggage that some other team guys have. And I'm not going to throw anybody under the bus, but we all know who I'm talking about.
I know who you're talking about.
Yeah. Guys like Eli, guys like Sean, Jocko, they're old salt. They're old team guys. They have a code. They don't break the code. And then you've got the new guys, the more inclusive team guys who, all want to write a fucking book on their exploits and, that stuff. I don't know. I'm all about like Goggins. I'm a Luttrell. I have some issues sometimes, but I do like Marcus. I certainly love his brother. Eli Crane, Sean Ryan, Jocko Willink. These are guys that I say they're hard chargers and they're high speed, low drag guys.
Yeah. Why can't we get more guys like that in Congress? I mean, Eli Crane, I love that guy.
So do I.
I
love
totally respect him. I think he's one of the few in there that are really trying to make a change, but we don't have enough of them. And what I can't understand is why we do not have enough of them. Why are not these guys standing up and saying, "Hey, I'm willing to take some crap. I'm willing to go the extra mile, do what it takes to get this country turned around and get us back on the right track again." We need more people like that. What do we have in there right now? We got a bunch of sellouts. We got a bunch of people that go in making $170,000 a year and come out multimillionaires. Those are your sellouts. Those are the people that you have to keep an eye on.
Yeah, you're right. And listen, I'll wrap this up because I got to get to a couple other things. But my whole thoughts is that the reason why we don't have more guys is because they don't have the capabilities. I want you to understand that just because you're a team guy and just because you can push your body physically and your mental capacity further than most people can even think, it doesn't mean you're a great communicator. It doesn't mean you're a great orator. It doesn't mean you're a great critical thinker who deserves to be in Congress. So that's the answer to that question. But you're seeing more and more. You're seeing more and more military getting involved. See, Trump's in Flint, Michigan. Chef says that surprises me about Tucker. Too mainstream now. No, he platformed a Nazi. Yeah, I'll say it quickly. I think there are some people who don't deserve to be platformed. I'm all about free speech, but not at the sanctity of my morals, my integrity, and my ethics. And if you platform a Nazi who says that the Jews were an unfortunate mistake by the Nazis because they didn't have enough food and they made an error in judgment, and you put that fucker on live, you lose my trust. Yeah, Tucker, his overall Putin subversion and backdoor support of Russia, his support of platforming anti-Semites and Candace Owens is another one. No, fuck you. You know why? Because if people went on and went after blacks, I would say the same thing. You don't go after Jews. You don't go after Hindus. You don't go after Muslims. You don't go after Orthodox. You don't go after Caucasians or gingers. Leave people the fuck alone and weigh them on their actions and stop weighing them on their ideologies or the color of their pigmentation or their religious beliefs. I am so sick of this shit. So Tucker Carlson, yeah, he is, in my opinion, he is shifting his overall intellectual genius by going where the low dollars are, and he's trying to capture this anti-Jew sentiment that's going on, just like Candace Owens. And once he left Fox, he did lose a large part of his audience, and now he's trying to fulfill it any way he can. It reminds me of what liberals are doing with votes by going with illegals and felons and kids under 18. They will do whatever they can to get votes. Tucker will do whatever he can to get fans, and so will Candace Owens. I don't like that. I'm sorry. I don't.
Well, isn't that part of the alt media, though? I mean, they get these platforms, and they're big. They're like Bongino. I love Bongino, by the way. I mean, yeah, I watch him every day.
Yeah, Bongino doesn't sell out his morals, Frank. Bongino doesn't sell out his morals. He's been saying the same thing for 9 years. He's just like Rogan. You love him or hate him, he's consistent. Love or hate me, I'm consistent. I don't change my tune for ratings. I don't change my opinion to get people to like me. It's never been my MO. I am not built that way. I don't give a shit if people like me. I want you to think. I want you to have an opinion. That's what I want. And I want it to be informed, and I want it to be true. Whether you like me or not, trust me, the moment I turn this off, I don't care. I just don't. Thank you, Kimberly Ann. I just don't care, Frankie. I don't have the time. I don't have the time I stopped worrying about that shit when I was probably a year and a half into this gig. And Olivia will tell you, I used to stay up at night. I would cry sometimes because I would just get so hurt by what people would say. I have liberal kung fu. You can't hurt me. You can't land a blow on me. There is nothing people can say. And then that's why I get frustrated and I just vent on you. It's not because you've said something. It's because I don't respect you. And you're not respecting me, so I'm going to give you equal treatment. That's why I say and blow up sometimes. It's not because I don't have patience or I don't have the ability. You've seen me with people screaming at me, and I'm listening, and I'm trying to get them to slow down. But there is a line. And when you cross that, I'm going to lose my shit on you because I know how to play that game. Where I come from, mother's half a word. So if you want to get down in the dirty, I got no problem dropping intellectualism, and we can just say shit and fuck all day. And trust me, I can do that too. But I'm not going to sell myself out because I need ratings. You know what I mean, man?
I know exactly.
We would have been bigger a long time ago if we did. I gotta tell you something. I'm so glad that you've gone back to cursing because that is you, Matt. And be you. Don't let these people guide you into another realm that says, "Oh, I'm just so I can't stand your cursing." You know, they're only words. Why do people not understand that? And if that is how you express yourself, that is what I love about you.
Yeah.
I love the fact that you express yourself in that way. I am not offended. I don't care. I understand exactly where you're coming from, brother.
I understand
and
you.
I love it.
I will say shit, and I will say shit, and I still do much better than I used to. So I am just limiting it. I am going to continue to be me, and what I try to do is preface it and say, "Hey, sorry for the language right here," so people can kind of brace for it, and I think that's a good thing. By the way, I just want to say, Dodie, you are a very lovely lady. It's the first time you put up a picture, and usually you don't have it, but very lovely. So I just thought I would tell Dodie that. I saw her picture, and I remembered your name, so which is even. It only took
said
me.
it correctly.
It only took me 4 fucking years. Frank, I got to go, buddy.
All right, man. I love you.
Love you too, Bubba.
Okay?
All right, man. We'll see you. Thanks for the talk. I always appreciate you calling. Keep doing it. See you. I love Frank. He's a good dude.
I have my sound machine there.
Jeez, give me a fucking warning. I almost had to shat myself on that. That was.
No, that's because you pronounced her name correctly. So.
I know. Okay, so I've got to go rapid fire. I've got things that I've been trying to show you guys for a couple of nights. You know what? Democrats are now trying to put the proverbial shit back in the horse. Okay, they're trying to play this game of we don't. Yes, you tell them, Yenny.
Mm-hmm. She's got something to say.
She's like, I know that horse, and I don't like that horse. Hi, Yennefer. She's such a dipshit. Okay. They're trying to put the shit back in the horse, right? They're trying. We don't promote violence. We don't promote violence. We don't want Donald Trump dead. We just want him in prison. That's the new line. I don't want to see him dead. I want him to serve a life in prison. That's what they want. These fucking people. Here you go. You know what? You don't want violence. Huh? Okay, great. I had to break this out from the archives. Merry Christmas.
I just don't even know why there aren't uprisings all over the country, and maybe there will be.
People need to start taking to the streets. This is a dictator.
You know, there needs to be unrest in the streets for as long as there's unrest in our lives.
Enemies of the state.
Show me where it says that protests are supposed to be polite and peaceful.
Do something about your dad's immigration practices, you feckless.
When they go low, we kick them.
How do you resist the temptation to run up and wring her neck?
The biggest terror threat in this country is white men, most of them radicalized right to the right.
I thought he should have punched him in the face. I said, even if you lost, he insulted your wife.
Yes.
He came down the escalator and called Mexicans rapists and murderers. He said, well, what do you think I should have done? I said, I think you should have punched him in the face and then gotten out of the race. You would have been a hero.
I'd like to punch him in the face. I said if we were in high school, I'd take him behind the gym and beat the hell out of him.
Punch some people in the face!
When was the last time an actor assassinated a president?
They're still going to have to go out and put a bullet in Donald Trump, and that's a fact.
Look as his character is stabbed to death.
Where is John Wilkes Booth when you need him?
This way. That's it right there. Pull it up.
I have thought an awful lot about blowing up the White House.
A Missouri state senator is under investigation by the Secret Service after saying she hopes President Trump is assassinated.
I will go and take Trump out tonight.
And if you see anybody from that cabinet in a restaurant, in a department store, at a gasoline station, you get out and you create a crowd. And you push back on them. And you tell them they're not welcome anymore, anywhere.
And sadly, the domestic enemies to our voting system and our honoring our Constitution are right at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue.
They're not going to stop before Election Day in November, and they're not going to stop after Election Day. And that should be, everyone should take note of that on both levels, that this isn't, they're not going to let up, and they should not.
If you think we're rallying now, you ain't seen nothing yet.
Yeah. Scary music aside, if I collected the shit that's been said over the last 6 months, I could make a video that's 3 hours long with the amount of violence that they've called for and condoned. I mean, there's people all over there. They're not saying he's an assassin. They're like, he didn't shoot at him. He didn't have a line of sight. Case closed. He's not an assassin. Are you these people are just, they're so fucking stupid. And I'm sorry, they're so myopic in their thought process. I can't stand it. Okay, Hillary Clinton. This woman. I swear to God, Liv.
It's so difficult.
By the way, remember that picture I put up of her all photoshopped and shit? And I said,
yeah.
I said, ooh, the lizard filter looks really good.
Yeah.
She blocked me on Facebook too. Here's Hillary Clinton, essentially calling for more hateful rhetoric towards Trump. She's not going to be happy until he's dead. And what's funny is that she has the most power to do it. She's the most successful at it. Why doesn't she take him out? I mean, come on. Here it is.
And I don't understand why it's so difficult for the press to have a consistent narrative about how dangerous Trump is. The late, great journalist, Harry Evans, one time said that, journalists should, really try to achieve objectivity. And by that, he said, I mean, they should cover the object. Well, the object in this case is Donald Trump, his demagoguery, his danger to our country and the world, and stick with it. And I don't understand why it's so difficult for the press to have who are consistent narrative about our engaged in this kind of propaganda, and whether they should be civilly or even in some cases criminally charged is something that would be a better deterrence. Because
so Hillary Clinton's calling for anyone that they deem to be propaganda. Oh, thanks, Frankie. You're the best, buddy.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very, very much. That's a good number. We appreciate that. Helps out tremendously, buddy. So Hillary Clinton saying that people who they, like us, we're distributing propaganda. So therefore we should be arrested and silenced. What do you think about that, Liv?
And she needs to be arrested and silenced.
How dangerous boosting Trump back in 2016.
Yeah.
Trump
well,
is.
She's calling for the death of Trump.
Yeah, she is.
Because she continues to call him a dictator. She continues to call him all these things. And I want you to watch this, okay? Because I got a series of videos. I just need to keep playing them. Here's The View trying to put the proverbial shit back in the horse. Sonny Hostin. Oh, my God. Sonny effing Hostin, who is calling for anyone who calls for violence on Trump is despicable. Oh, my God. This is so rich.
It was shocking to me that it was 500 yards. And I thought that it was an important thing that they noticed the barrel of a gun through a fence 500 yards away. So in that respect, they were doing their jobs, right, in that respect. But what is so offensive to me, and it is also because they're saying it's very hard to secure a golf club. Golf course when those courses are sometimes on highways and it's very difficult. But that doesn't really matter when it comes to protecting a former president or a future president. Mm-hmm. I will say this. I am so saddened and disturbed by the fact that political violence is so normalized in this country.
No, you're afraid that they're going to go after Kamala the same way. That's what you're terrified of. And let's face it, any Democrat who's showing contrition, who has said that Donald Trump is a dictator, a Nazi, who has to be stopped at all costs, you don't give a fuck about Donald Trump. You know that if the foo is on the other shoot, you are not going to be happy. And that's what this is about. This is all this is. This is just you covering your ass in case they get him. And I'm sorry, this is just prototypical CYA from the left. She doesn't believe anything she's saying. She wants him dead. They all want him dead. That not one person would blink an eye on the side of all of the talkers that we've heard over the last 9 years for Donald Trump. If he dies, they're going to be, oh, what a tragedy. This is horrible. But they're going to be like, fuck yes, that fucker's dead. And you know they are because you listen to the hate and vitriol in their voice. You can hear it. I don't think people hate Joe Biden like that. I don't think people hate Barack Obama like that. I don't think the right. Let's look at the assassinations throughout U.S. history. It's always a fucking liberal. It doesn't matter whether it's Martin Luther King. It doesn't matter whether it's John F. Kennedy, Abraham Lincoln. It doesn't matter Ronald Reagan. These people are all lefty loons. I'm sorry, but I can't stand it. I don't want to see anyone dead. And this is why I don't talk about Joe Biden with hate and vitriol. I just don't. I judge him on his actions. These people hate Donald Trump because they have some sort of just unbelievably detached, delusional reality that this guy is Hitler. It's just so ridiculously stupid. to believe that Donald Trump has anything in common with Hitler. Liv, do you believe Sonny Holston?
No, I don't believe any of them, especially on The View. They're horrible, horrible human beings. Every single one of them. Don't like any of them. I would love to go on The View, though.
Oh, yeah.
I would have fun.
Oh, I'd love to.
I would have a blast on The View.
Completely with you. Completely with you.
I think there are.
Take a listen to, an update.
Here to this, the gate over here, all right?
Okay. This one's going to be interesting.
Are Americans who
all
are
right.
engaged in this kind of
Hillary,
propaganda.
shut the front door.
And whether they.
I'm sorry, folks. Sometimes the Safari internet sooks donkey bowls. All right. So remember the 14-year-old we talked about, Liv?
Yes.
And how he had all the fake guns and knives and all that other crap.
Yeah.
This is what Florida did to him.
Careful as you can. You're going to be walking over here to this, the gate over.
Come on.
All right?
Dude, really? Dude, Twitter.
All right, sir. Careful as you can. You're going to be walking over here to this, the gate over.
I can't stand Twitter. I mean, I'm not calling it X because X sounds cool. Twitter just sucks.
All right? Slow and steady. What you here for today?
Put that foot down. Let me get the other foot. All right, come on in here. Have a seat in the cell. We're going to gather up some paperwork and get things started for you. Do you have any questions? All right.
What we're going to start doing Monday is, since parents, you don't want to raise your kids, I'm going to start raising them. Every time we make an arrest, your kid's photo is going to be put out there. And if I could do it, I'm going to perp walk your kid so that everybody can see what your kid's up to.
All right, sir.
Welcome to Florida. Liv, your thoughts, and then I'll provide mine.
Good. I mean, anybody who's willing to make a joke about wanting to go into a school and shoot it up, good. Scare them straight. Let them spend some time.
Yeah.
Let them spend some time in there and to know what it would be like. And honestly, the reality shows and we don't get along anymore. I used to watch them, but there was one, I think it was called Scared Straight or something.
Yep, that's
and
exactly
it would
what it
take
was.
those kids that were like, they kept getting in trouble
little
with the law,
bangers and drugs
and they'd put them in prison.
Yeah.
And they would let the prisoners teach them a lesson.
Yeah.
And within 5 minutes, they're all crying for their mommies.
Yeah.
And honestly, I thought that was great because they needed it. Some kids need to be scared straight. And honestly, good.
Yeah.
I think he needs to spend a night in there too. And he needs to realize what he did was wrong. And then those parents need to be taught a lesson too.
Yeah, and people are like, oh, well, you don't want, teachers raising your children and interfering in your life, but you let a cop arrest your child. First of all, parents are neglecting that child. Second, they have absolute right to take him in custody if he's made a viable threat. And my uncle had me arrested when I was 7 years old. My sister, my brother, and I all went to the Pick and Save up on where our grocery store was, and we stole erasers. And we had these little pencil erasers with funny characters on, like Tweety Bird and Sylvester, and we stole them. And we came home with pockets full of them. My mom's like, "Where'd you get these?" And my brother and sister's like, "Matt stole them." Of course, just a prelude to who my fucking brother and sister are, obviously, as they threw me under the bus when I was 6, 7. And my uncle was a Ventura County sheriff before he went to Bakersfield, and they called a squad car and they had me arrested. And they took me down to jail and they booked me. I cried the whole fucking way. I'll tell you what, I learned that day I never wanted to be in jail. Listen, there's people who you put me in a situation where I have to defend my family. I'll say I'm brave. You put me in a situation where I got to go into a burning building. I'll say I'm brave.
Because you've done it.
Yeah. You got to say I got to kick down a door and go save somebody from getting beat up from their husband. I'm brave. You put me in a live fire situation where people need help. I'm going to go run to the sound. I'm not going to run away. Okay. That's where I'm brave. You put me in prison, I will hang myself in the first fucking 3 hours. Like, you'll see me swinging from the rafters. Swing low, sweet cherry. I'll hang myself. You'll be like, Mr. Spear, you're going to be out in the morning. I'll be rolling over for packs of cigarettes. I'll be somebody's bitch. I can't stand being locked up. That's why I follow the law. And I can't. I know what I can and can't do, and I could not be in prison. There's just no way.
We did that with Hayden.
We did do that with Hayden.
I think she was 8 and she was starting to go on hers. It was at the beginning when she was starting to really lie. She was starting to steal.
Right.
And we're trying to figure out what's going to have an impact. So we called the local police department in Texas and asked them, hey, can we bring her down? And sure enough, they had a female cop there too. And they showed her around. They took her down and showed her the cell. And we had a talk and we sat down and talked. And Ethan was there and they told her consequences of what if she continues with her actions. And I have to ask her if she remembers it. I mean, that was a while ago. But
and it wasn't as profound as I wanted it to be. Like I'm like, put the cuffs on her. Like seriously, like teach her a fucking lesson.
They wouldn't do that, but they did take her to see the jail cell, and
they were looking at me like I was like an abuser, and I'm just like, God, it's so far removed because my dad not only had me arrested, but he kicked the living shit out of me when I got home. I'm sorry, and my uncle got on me too. Not my Uncle Randy, but my Uncle Ron beat the shit out of me. It's just a different world, man. I mean, there's just no levels of respect anymore. But anyway,
I remember the first time Ethan stole, he was like 4 and he didn't mean to. He just saw a cute stuffed animal at Target.
Yeah.
And we got in the car. I was like, where'd you get that? I just took it.
Yeah.
So we took him back into the store so he could give it back. And we asked for the manager so he could apologize. And they were like, it's okay. And I'm like, no, it's not okay. I'm like, he needs to learn a lesson that it's not okay to steal. I'm like, that's why he's in here.
Yeah.
But most people are like, oh, he's just cute. It's okay.
Yeah.
No, they need to learn a lesson at a young age.
It's my baby boy. Your baby boy's a dick, lady. Your baby boy's going to kill somebody. Last one, Peter Ducey. Got to love him. We're going to end it here tonight, and then we're going to do our final minutes. Here we go. Folks, if you've not had a chance to donate to the Don't Unfriend Me show, listen, man, this show is funded by you. It's all about you. So the people who watch, we appreciate you. And we've got hundreds over the network, and we can't thank you enough. If you have the ability and you want to continue to see the show be free and you love what we're producing here, we need your help. Please help out the Don't Unfriend Me show if you could, and donate to the show by going to linktapgo.com. A lot of people ask, well, it's on PayPal. Do you have Venmo? If we have to do Venmo, I've got to do a whole nother tax form on Venmo.
We have a P.O. box.
Yeah, we have a P.O. box you can send. Olivia's going to put the address in there. You can also tip. The tips, unfortunately, they take like 20%. PayPal doesn't charge me a damn thing. They don't take, they charge me a processing fee, but that's it. So if you're looking to donate, you want to help out the show, we are at $21.17.91. Really awesome. We're getting close. We've got about 15 days left, 14 days left. So anything you can do to continue this is what the bare minimum that we need to continue to put the show on and to have enough to where I don't need to go do a full-time job. This is a full-time job. I put 80 hours a week into this, mother. Olivia will tell you how much I work on this show, and we appreciate your support. So thank you for supporting us. Here is a video of Clonjod, Van Damme, Pierre, whatever her face is. Here it is.
2 days since somebody allegedly tried to kill Donald Trump again. And you're here at the podium in the White House briefing room calling him a threat. How many more assassination attempts on Donald Trump until the president and the vice president and you pick a different word to describe Trump other than threat?
Peter, if anything from this administration, I actually completely disagree with the premise of your question, the question that you're asking. It is also incredibly dangerous in the way that you're asking it, because American people are watching. And to say that from an administration who has consistently condemned political violence, from an administration where the president called the former president and was grateful that he was okay, from an administration who has called out January 6th, called out the attack of Paul Pelosi, called out and said we need to lower the temperature after the Butler incident, and now for you to make that kind of comment in your question, because your question involved a comment and a statement.
How dare you say anything that's remotely true on this dais?
I love that.
Yeah.
After the
I
question's over.
I know. She's just like, oh.
I have to answer to your question again?
Seriously.
Jeez, Peter. What's wrong with you?
You know, it is, that is also incredibly dangerous. When
2 days.
So you admit that it's incredibly dangerous what you said, because she just said that's also incredibly dangerous. Fine. I conceded the fact that what I said was incredibly dangerous because the truth's sometimes scary. But you're conceding that what you said, right? What is that called? Say it.
Circling. She's just circling.
Circular argument. Just, I love it.
She doesn't have a freaking clue what she's saying.
You've called him racist. You called him deplorable. You called him a Nazi. You've called him a dictator. You said he's a threat to democracy. You said the MAGA extremists, that the MAGA movement is a domestic terrorist movement. You guys have maligned us with the worst parts of society. You call us maggots. I don't understand. I don't understand the right sometimes, too. I'm not going to sit here and defend the right. The bullshit with Democrats and all. It's so fucking childish. My God, have an argument. Like, make an argument. Make an intellectual point, or just shut up, right? Shut up. Why are we offended by everything? Can we just stop? I mean, I just don't understand why both sides can't just slow down and stop being offended and ask yourself, in 5 years, am I going to care? Am I truly going to care what's being said? And if the answer is yes, fight like hell. And if the answer is no, shut up. Seriously. I had a clip of Taylor Swift. We'll do it tomorrow. Olivia's on tomorrow.
I'm not on tomorrow.
Olivia's not on tomorrow. What? It's Wednesday. Why aren't you on tomorrow?
Because I was on tonight. I'm getting my teeth done. Hayden's got her dress fitting.
That's right.
So,
Okay. No, Amy and I are tomorrow. We're solo. No, Olivia. Thank you for coming on, folks. If you have not had a chance, Coffee. I talked to my coffee guy, and his name is Matt Holly, and he's a great guy. He's in Wisconsin. He's a veteran. He makes the coffee absolutely fresh, and it's beautiful. He's going to be off for a week, but you can order now. You can save on refilling your subscription if you want to, or just ordering individual bags. We've got 5 unique flavors. The FJB, the Let's Go Brandon bag, is a caramel with a honey undertone. It's delicious. We've got a dark roast. We've got a breakfast roast. We have a light roast. And we also have decaf. Kami. Coffee is what we call the decaf. Kami. It's funny. Then we have Moab, the mother of all brews. And then we've got the Tomahawk. And then the Napalm in the morning. So 5 amazing coffees. Now, if you like our shirts, you like our hats, you like our books and everything, we don't put anything but quality product on there. If you have not had a chance, go look at our coffee. You can do a subscription to it, which you can save some money, or you can just order a bag and tell me what you think. You can also pick up hoodies and hats and all that other stuff on the Don't Unfriend Me show. We try to have
shirt.
Yep, we have, and get the Popeye shirt. We have high quality stuff over there. We have 5-star rating. We have over 150 5-star ratings. We've, I think we are really, really close, if I'm not mistaken, to break 5,000 transactions, which is just unbelievable. I never thought our store would do so well. You all make that possible. So go over there and take a look. You can use code DUM15 if you don't mind. After hours, you can go use code DUM10 and save 10%. Go take a look. Thanks for donating. And if you can't do any of that and you're like, money's tight, it just sucks right now, like, share, subscribe, or just please watch this, which is the Wimkin commercial, and go and join Wimkin. We need you to do that. We're going to be leaving Facebook in the beginning of the year. In 2025, we are done with Facebook. So we need you to go over to Wimkin and sign up. It is a wonderful alternative social media platform. We're still going to be on Twitter. We're still going to broadcast on Facebook, but we're not going to interact with it as much.
I don't think Marky has taken the hoodie off since he got it.
That doesn't surprise me. It's probably going to stand up and walk its way back here.
By the way, I was called breathtaking tonight. Just so
oh, my God. I'll take your breath away.
Yes, every night.
Oh. What is going on, Don't Unfriend Me Nation? Matthew Spear from the
Hey,
Don't
y'all.
Unfriend Me show. See ya. I want to talk to you about Wimkin.com. Now, Jason Shepard and the Wimkin team came into my life about 1.5 years ago. They were saying that it's not a Twitter knockoff, that it's just like Facebook, it's fully encrypted, completely safe, and your privacy is paramount. You can live stream. It's 100% made in the USA. And I took a little time, I'm not going to lie. I wanted to make sure that this was the right company, and it took me a little bit to research and take part in the network, and I will tell you that I am 100% right behind Wimkin. Jason Shepard has created an amazing network where people who are sick and tired of being censored and pushed around by big tech. This doesn't happen on Wimkin. He protects your privacy, and he's willing to stand up to the government and anyone who tries to get it. He's already done it once. It doesn't make him very popular, and that's why he needs shows like us and people like you to support him, to get behind him, and to ensure that the most important thing that we all possess is the right to freedom of speech and to share our voices across this great country. Join Wimkin over at wimkin.com today.
David Boreanaz with the Cast of SEAL team, and we have an important message for returning vets.
We want you to know if you're struggling to cope, there's help and it's just a phone call away.
The Veterans Crisis Line is staffed with experienced professionals who know your struggles.
There's no greater sacrifice in service to our country. We're able to enjoy our freedoms because of it.
Your service is important. You are important.
For vets and their families, the Veterans Crisis Line is here to help 24 hours a day. Please call.
This is the Don't Unfriend Me Show with your hosts, Matt, Leroy, Amy, and Olivia. Geopolitics, military analysis, and election.
Amy Stancombe, can you help Angie Zirkelbach get her the Wimkin helpline and help her as best she can? Just start a new account. That's probably going to be the easiest thing to do. But if you can't do it, I'll talk to Jason. We'll see what we can do. But we got to get everybody over there if we can. Thanks, everybody. Good night.
Coverage coming to you live on all major social media channels at The DUM Show. Honest, direct, unfiltered. We can agree, we can disagree. Just don't unfriend me.